sometimes I wonder if other people, I don't wonder, I know they do, but I wonder how many think the same way you do. Um, I'm in one of those points where I got to try to figure out, working on them life moves and, what's the next best step. And I don't know. Some people think that's a dangerous way to go through life, but at this point, I don't want to be locked into anything. So I want to be able to move at will, and so that's what I'm doing right now. Ever since the campground that got shut down on the 23rd, I think. So, but when you live that kind of life where you're going to be RVing a lot and bouncing around, you have to completely reduce yourself down to like the bare minimum. And because I wanted something that was fast and light and wasn't going to chew up a ton of fuel, the RV that I got a toy hauler, but I got like a mid-size one. I didn't get, because you can buy some of these things now that are just friggin' gigantic. It's like it's a rolling home, and that really wasn't the point. Well, I mean, for some people it is, but for me it wasn't. I wanted to be fast, fast and light and loose, so I can make a decision on the fly and go, yeah, I'm going to go do that. But that means reducing yourself down. And they're starting to get better at designing these RVs with more storage area in the underside of the RVs. I mean, even insides are getting designed a little smarter, but it's not what I have. I mean, I have a new one, but it wasn't some of the real new stuff I've seen. And you got to get big fifth wheels. But anyway, so I have been spending, days now, literally going through one bin after another and try to decide, am I keeping it? Do I need it? And if I'm not, is it going in the yard sale? Just kind of get rid of it. But so I've been doing that for days. I had to get out. I had to get outside. It's a beautiful day today. I got a nice fire going next to me. And a little thick. Boots with no mountain. I love this song. So yeah, I had to get outside today. And, there's some things that we do that it's just you want to do it when you need to think about stuff. When you need to, get your head straight, decide, how to solve a problem and what the next step is, those kind of things. And one of the things that has always done that for me is working a wood pile. And I think it started when I was a kid. I remember whenever I would get because the wood pile was always my job. After the stuff was cut in splittable lengths that would fit in the wood stove, it was on me to go grab it from the pile, split it, stack it, and then when, got cold inside and we needed more lumber, I had to go get it. So I did it a lot when I was a kid, and I found that whenever something would happen, when you're a kid and your parents or just life, whatever, does something that pisses you off, and you're like, God damn it, son of a... I would go out to that wood pile and I would wreck it. And then when I say wreck it, I would take the biggest pieces of wood, I'd grab them all, I'd just be like, and just start smashing away. And I got to the point where I thought my father was pissing me off intentionally because he knew that's what I would go do. It's like he'd look out and go, geez, that wood pile needs to get cut down a little bit. And he'd tell me something that would just piss me off or deny me something. And I'd be like, I swear to God, it was by design. But whenever that would happen, I found myself, I would think everything through. It's kind of like for some people, it's hopping in the car, right? It's hopping in the car and going for a long drive and just kind of think, listen to the radio, maybe radio on, maybe radio off. Depends on how you are. For some people, it's going for a nice long walk in the woods. I always found with me, it was splitting wood and just working at woodpile. But now, down the road a few years, I think I just turned 39 again. I'm down to making kindling. So I gotta, for the fire, you gotta have kindling. This is just, it's part of the work you gotta do. And I can sit here and literally do this for hours. Probably not for most people, but for me, turning big sticks into little sticks, making a big pile of them, so I can start a nice. Haven't lost a finger yet. Probably came close a few times. It just gives you time to clear your head and think. Literally hours, to the point where I go to sit up and I'm like, oh my God, it feels like like I got mule kicked right in the back. Nice cold beer helps. Either Miller High Life, and if you can't find that, you want Yellow Jackets. Coors Banquet. Not Coors Light, Coors Banquet. It's the only other beer I've ever really liked, and for a long time couldn't get it. But yeah, Yellow Jacket's the way to go. If you can't find a High Life, which I currently have not been able to find a High Life. Not where I am anyway. At least not in the bottle. The only way you drink Miller High Life is in the bottle. You don't drink it in the can. I can't describe why that is, but you just don't do it. So, but yeah, I was just thinking about it and wondering how many other people, what their thing is that they do. What is it that you do when you just need to think and clear your head and, get all that shit worked out that's up there. At least come up with some kind of plan in mind of how you're going to attack your problems. And I'm sure like lots of people probably have, probably someone says, oh, I do it when I do the laundry. Maybe. But I've always been curious. It's like, what is it that other people do? I think probably most people are going to say when they drive, because I just think that's like a universal thing. When you get in the car and start driving and you just, see things whizzing by the window and you kind of get bleary-eyed to it after a while and your mind starts to wander, So I think that's what it is. But I'd be curious to know what other people's things are. What's your thing that you like to do when you need to work through stuff in your head? For me, get outside, fresh air, sunshine. If it's cold out, it's pretty cool today. I don't know what the temperature is right now. It's probably in the 40s. It feels like the 40s, I could just be getting old and being a sissy, but, it feels like the 40s, dude. I don't know. There's a little bit of a breeze. It's blowing right now. That doesn't usually help ever. But yeah, for me, that's it. And I always love being around a campfire. I always feel right when I'm by a campfire. I always feel right when I'm near water. That was my only real criticism about Arizona. It's the desert thing. I need to be near water. It's a place that I like. I like it in the wintertime. But it could never be a home for me. I have to have water nearby. Growing up where we grew up here in this area, especially being near the island and spending as much time as I did on the island. Like I said, I think the first picture ever taken of me outside of those initial baby pictures was me sitting on my father's lap at what used to be Aqualand down in Bar Harbor. Now it's like the Oceanarium. I really don't even know what they do there now. But when it was Aqualand, it was pretty cool. I remember it, So, I've just always been near the water and just always feel like I'm home. But I also need the stuff behind us too, the trees. What I don't need is the snow and the cold and the ice and all the crap that goes with it. One of the stupidest things in the world is when people say, oh, but if you leave, won't you miss it? Won't you miss the winter and how pretty it is? And I'm like, got it. I've shoveled enough of it. I've shoveled enough driveways, walkways, decks. I have dug out the ends of driveways multiple times. The plow truck goes by, scraped it off roofs. I've driven in it, had it destroy I don't know how many vehicles just by rotting them. I'm all set. Okay, I can see a nice pretty white field, and yeah, I'm good. You guys, no offense, you can have it. And I've never really been a, ooh, this one's got a knot. I've never really been a outdoorsy in the wintertime kind of guy, I don't go ice fishing. Not my thing. But if it's yours, great. But it's just never been mine. This hatchet's a little better than, see, this one here's my old school one. I've had this one forever. It's pretty straightforward, right? Straightforward, it's just a hatchet. But this one I found recently at Wally World, and see that this thing right here? This little arrow, looks like a little chevron. It flares out, and it's flared out at an angle. So when you get something that might have a little knot in it, and it becomes hard, you use this one, and this one will get down through it, just like that. A little better than my old school one, but I like old stuff. So, but yeah, I'm just curious, everybody, what's your thing? Like I said, me, outside, campfire, good music, good beer, and sunshine, beautiful day. Get a lot of thinking done that way. So, anyway, just curious. I like to know what the rest of you do when you need to really think things out. Who knows? You might come up with something that I'm like, that's a good idea. That might be better than mine. And for some of you, you might see what mine was and go, I haven't been on a wood pile in forever. I haven't made kindling in forever. Maybe you never have. One of the other things is whittling. I can just grab a stick and a good sharp knife and just sit there and whittle. Next thing you know, I look up and 2 or 3 hours have passed, and I've just been sitting there thinking about everything under the sun. Things that confront me, things that don't confront me. Just whittling, something simple. Cheap, easy way to get your mind straight. So I hope all of you are having a great, great day. And, I don't know if this will ever, I'm not the kind of guy to make installments, but I would like to follow up on this. I want to hear what everybody else, what do you do to just clear the garbage out and get things organized,